Well, this is an item I got from a Texas-based company called Ranger Point Precision. It's a replacement for the lever screw, which if you have to take out this lever screw to do some kind of minor field strip, say you want to remove the bolt and clean things, or say you got a jam or something, you need a screwdriver with you to take out this lever screw, and it goes in on this side. So here, instead, you got this knurled screw here. I got the one with stainless steel. You could get the one that's like a black blue color, the blue color, real dark, and you wouldn't see it as much, but I figured if you took this out and you dropped it, you're going to find the silver one a lot easier than the black one. So I got the stainless steel one, which it won't rust too. That's the other thing. So again, in the American tradition of innovation, manufacturer of firearm parts. Okay, so in other words, there's ways to make things better. I'm also going to get, I'm going to see how this fires first when I'm actually using it. I'll try a couple different types of ammo. I did modify the lever already, and if I over modified it, I'll just get another lever from these guys that's a little bit better than the stock one. And what I'm going to probably get from them though is the extractor. They sell an extractor that's supposed to be working a lot better, and believe it or not, the extractor, which is up, that's the the ejector spring is here, but the extractor's on the end of the bolt. When the round is coming up, sometimes it can hit the extractor, even though you're thinking it's for extracting the round. Even it can get in the way when it's loading the round. It could touch it. I've heard this, and I think the Ranger Point's extractor doesn't do that. Besides, it also throwing the shell casing out there a lot better. This thing seems to work a lot better now that I kind of not just broke it in. I actually had to take a Dremel tool to the lever in here. I didn't want to mess with the carrier or nothing, but I'm not going to change out a lot of parts in it. But I'm pretty much may change out the extractor on both my Marlins, even the one that's the Marlin 357. That's a Marlin made before Remington got a hold of them. This one's not that bad. I was a little aggravated because right out of the box, I actually had to take the lever off of this just about every third or fourth time I was cycling around through it. And I was like, whoa. I should have made it like that. And I didn't want to send it back to the factory. I says, I could fix it just better than they could probably. So, and the point is, if they fix it and I don't know how to fix it, and I don't learn it, maybe there's going to be a situation where I can't send it back to a factory and have them do it. And the other thing is, I have both these are the same type. They're both 1894 Marlins. They're both in pistol calibers. One's a 357, one's a 44. They're, they're identical except for the barrel and the bolt, basically. I mean, it's pretty much the same damn thing, and maybe the carrier. But the parts are, basically function exactly the same way. So if you know one rifle, you know the other. So if I get one slicked up, the other one's getting slicked up the same way. I like the concept behind these rifles because they're small. And I was actually looking at a scope for this. I'm probably going to get a Barska or maybe a Simmons. A small one with the scope and the rings together under $100. 1 to 4 power scope or 1.5 to 4 power, something like that. Nothing really drastic. And, keep it not expensive, but working right. But you really can't go with 100% stock. But then again, Marlin is less money than the other ones out there. Got some advantages. You got the butt stock on there. You got it drilled for the scope already. You got the side eject. You already have the mounts. I put this leather sling on here from Montana Slings. So now I got from Ranger Point. This is this lever screw. So I'll mark this as 1894 Marlin lever screw and put this in my box with gun parts. And if you want to take this off, you can. I mean, you got to really it could turn, right? You could do it. And the other thing is, if you're having a few jams, maybe you could back that off a couple turns where the lever isn't quite as tight, and that might make the difference too. But I don't want any jams, because I think this rifle this is a rifle you would probably take out more in the woods, because it's light, easy to point, simple to operate, and you don't want it jamming. You don't want this jamming when you need it. So, but normally they don't. And I'm glad Remington's still making them. But it's just like anything. You got to be a dedicated buyer to make it right. Because sometimes that's just the way things are. But what's fortunate about Marlin, besides at least Remington's making them, right? And they have made them a lot better since the initial takeover. They've gotten better. But there's so many aftermarket companies out there and so many knowledgeable people that if you have a problem with this, you can make it right. I would actually give it to a guy that's knowledgeable, or like I said, I want to learn it myself, but I would actually give it to a guy that's knowledgeable and have them modify it versus even having Remington modify it and fix it. That's my opinion. Because once it's done right, it's going to stay right for like many thousands of rounds and a lot of years. So, once you got it good, you're living with something that's working right. So here's from Ranger Point, rangerpointstore.com. These are some stickers, I guess. Ranger Point Precision. And I like that. I like this. Like I said, if you don't like the silver one, they got a blue one too. And you can make that stainless steel. I can make that dark too. I bet you could put some bluing on there and make that stainless steel blue, even though it's not supposed to work like that. But you could do that if you want to. It doesn't look bad to me. I mean, somebody might, I don't know. I'm just thinking there's some critics out there that don't like that, but I really don't. It's whatever. It's function. It's function, man. So I'm looking at function. And I'm not going to put the scope on it until I get it feeding 100% really good. And like I said, if it doesn't feed right away good, the next step I'm doing is I'm going to Ranger Point Precision, and I'm getting that extractor. And like I said, it seems like I have a feeding issue once in a while. I got to kind of jiggle it. This doesn't lock up the lever anymore. Sometimes I got to kind of jiggle this to get it up in there. And I said, I don't really like that, because that could be a problem if you really need another second shot quick. Your life depends upon it, right? You might not be thinking about jiggling the lever, and you just want to go and make it work, right? But I heard their extractor can also help with feeding problems, because when the round comes up in here, not like this thing here, the extractor is actually in the bolt, and it can hit the back of the round, can hit the extractor. So their extractor is more rounded out or smoother and stuff, besides actually having a better spring in it and a better curvature, and throws the round out. It also could help with the feeding problems. If that works, I'll put it in this thing, and I'll also get one for the 357 version of this, and go with that. So here's Rocky and Goldie. So yeah, what you doing, boo-boo? Anyway, so one step at a time. I'm not going to try to spend as much money as possible on this thing. Like I said, I'm just spending money until whatever I see wrong, want it right, and that's it. Then just leave it the hell alone. That's really the game of the game. But I think this is a good little thing for, unless you don't like it the way it looks. But if you got to say you don't even have a jam in a rifle. Say the way you take this thing down, like if you want to take this bolt out, you got to unscrew the screw in here. So if you don't have a screwdriver on you, and you want to take this bolt out in the field or something, and I don't know, clean it off or something or whatever, put a little oil in there after you clean it, and get it all. I mean, you really don't need take it all apart to get it really good. I mean, you could take this out, take the lever out, you take the bolt out, and this ejector comes out, and you could douse it down with some kind of, personally, like, you can just brake clean, for crying out loud. Just blast it all out and then put some gun oil on it, put it back together. Brake clean's some pretty good stuff, man. And you don't have a screwdriver on you, it's the way to do it. Get this thing. Tell you the truth, I think this would be a good thing to have them from all the time, like that from the factory. Well, some people would say that's not period correct, but more concerned about function. But like I said, anytime there's a problem with anything, say Remington is making some of the rifles not too good, some of them are good, really good, some of them are not too good. Most of them, I assume, are working pretty good, or else they'd be out of business. But the aftermarket is there for Marlin 1894. I mean, you're talking, we're in 2019, so you got 125 years later. We got loads of aftermarket. We got loads of knowledge, and we got loads of aftermarket stuff for these rifles. That's the advantage of buying one. That's what I knew. There was some problems with Remington when I got them, but I was surprised this thing was jamming up as bad as it was when I first got it. And it was like I actually had to do some stuff to this lever, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know if I messed it up, but it doesn't seem like I did. It seems like I fixed it pretty good. But I only modified the lever, and I just try to break it in a lot, working the action and stuff. So, but personally, this is, I mean, if you're out in the field and you got this jam up or something crazy happens, it could be anything. It could be from dirt, getting in the action, and then it jams up, and you got to take this lever out, and you don't have a screwdriver on you. What are you going to do? And like I said, I opted for the stainless steel one because I don't want anything that's going to rust in here. So that should be good to go for a long time.